Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. With the revelation of the Hinman emails and related documents yesterday, we knew a memo existed that the SEC never intended us to see, but I haven't had a chance to emphasize it yet because so much damned information has been released. We had a general idea of the memorandum's subject matter, but we were never supposed to actually view it. It's out now, and I'll show it to you at the beginning of this video, along with some insight from attorney John Deaton, who famously said, quote, "No good deed goes unpunished," end quote. Funny enough, he was referring to Ripple's run-ins with the SEC, which stemmed from the company's proactive efforts to clarify matters for the markets despite the fact that they were under no such obligation to do so. However, it is important to note that I come from neither a legal nor a financial background. You shouldn't buy or sell anything based on what I say or write because I am not a legal or financial advisor. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. Okay, then. Here's a headline from the Crypto Newbies. Jay Clayton didn't want to clear up Ripple's XRP confusion, they write. Deaton gives his opinion. The XRP community has been discussing the SEC's case against Ripple and the documents that were made public yesterday. Yesterday, a member of the XRP community by the name of Ashley Prosper tweeted a link to an internal SEC email marked as Exhibit 276 in the SEC's Ripple complaint. Prosper claims the document is evidence that former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton was never interested in providing Ripple with clarity on XRP. That is a no-brainer, obviously. This is just another piece to the puzzle, and while we in the XRP community already knew it, it's wonderful to see it now that everything is back in the open. Here it is then. I didn't want to keep you waiting too long. However, what you're seeing on your screen right now has been officially released, but it was never meant for us to see it. That's not okay with the SEC. Right now, we are able to observe this. This is the memo, then. The date is August 20th, 2018. This was almost 5 years ago, when on-demand liquidity did not yet exist. In reality, on-demand liquidity didn't debut until the first week of October 2018. The meeting with Ripple executives is the topic at hand. Some of the names at the top make it clear who they are: a senior policy advisor, a deputy head at the SEC, etc. And so, although I don't recall who it was, I do recall that person is no longer employed by the SEC. Who, exactly, jotted down these ideas and drafted this memorandum? So what they do is, from what I can see, they have someone who essentially simply sits in on meetings as a quiet observer. They observe the situation and make notes on it. You'd think you'd just videotape the stupid thing, but oh well. So, the document basically says this. The meeting took place on Monday, August 20th, 2018, at the chairman's office at the SEC's Washington, D.C. headquarters. Chairman Clayton and Director of the Division of Corporation Finance Bill Hinman attended the meeting in the chairman's office. Mayman, Sean Mayman. It's a bit hazy, and Brian Rabbit's not in it. Ripple was represented by its CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, and its CTO, David Schwartz. The meeting kicked off at 11 a.m. and lasted for around 50 minutes. During their encounter, Garlinghouse and Schwartz talked about the business and technology of Ripple. The chairman's office had a representative ask questions every once in a while. The meeting came to a close with a quick remark from Garlinghouse about how Ripple was in limbo because of the debate over whether or not XRP, the cryptocurrency with which Ripple is affiliated, is a security. So I just wanted to pause and point out that this is where all the discussion from Gensler about just come in and work with us, and occasionally just come in, register, just do the right thing, etc., is taking place. Now we know what happens when you visit and speak with the SEC, but back then Ripple didn't. The SEC is collecting contact information in order to follow up with potential investors. It's more likely that the SEC will sue you if you walk in and talk to them. There are a lot of potential plaintiffs, but if you hand them all the information they need without making them do any legwork, they are more likely to file a lawsuit against you. Absolutely. Because they were taking initiative and acting in good faith by reporting the library to the SEC, the library was the target of an attack. Since the library is one of many smaller projects out there, I very doubt they would have been sued had they not taken that action. The library probably wouldn't have been chosen. We can't be sure, but I'd venture an educated estimate. And I'm going to venture a bet that the answer is not. If the library had not made a good faith effort to contact the SEC, most likely, no. This is a similar case where Ripple is making an honest effort to explain where they think XRP now stands. The rest of the memo then reads as follows. Chairman Clayton responded quickly by saying the meeting was not the right place to have that kind of conversation. Immediately after, he redirected the group back to a discussion of Ripple's business and technical port and requested Garlinghouse to back off of that topic. Don't you think there would have been more of anything if they were actually trying to help and make sure that investors are taking care of all that jazz if they were acting in good faith? Do you really believe they wouldn't have just changed the subject after saying, "We don't want to talk about that," which, at the very least, sounds rude? They weren't acting in good faith, that's for sure. Their entire stance is we don't need to change anything about policy or legislation or anything, how we test, and everything we've done since 1946 and even before, so they were never going to provide the clarity for Ripple surrounding XRP. All in all, this setup is the best possible case scenario. It is completely consistent with this cutting-edge technology, which is a load of hooey if you ask me. The message concludes with the following statement. After more debate on those points. At the end of the meeting, Chairman Clayton urged the Ripple executives to keep communicating with the Division of Corporation Finance. Okay, sure. Okay, here's what I'll say. They most likely did. I'm sure they urged them to keep willingly disclosing material that could be used in a lawsuit. I have no doubt they did. Absolutely. Ashley Prosper apparently disclosed such information. This was then retweeted by lawyer John Deaton, who added the following: the XRP letter assessing XRP under Howey was sent to Clayton and Hinman on June 13, 2018, which is why their meeting on August 18, 2018 is significant. If the document had determined XRP to be a security, then Hinman and Clayton would have addressed Brad Garlinghouse's purgatory remark. Due to XRP's status as a security, we were unable to provide definitive answers in our ethereal speech. Our people conducted a thorough investigation, and those were the results. Say it outright, XRP is a security. They didn't tell Brad to cease selling XRP because he was breaking the law. Again, this is intended to be completely obvious. Jesse Hines, an attorney, offers his thoughts on the matter. Without a doubt. My opinion has held for a very long time that Ripple is the most open and honest organization in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industries. They don't have to, yet they go above and above to exchange all kinds of information with one another anyhow. They are making this effort honestly. Good advocates for the XRP ecosystem, if you will. What's more, here's what Hines, the attorney, had to say. I've always thought that Ripple's quarterly report was one of the company's strongest points. Take a look at this sample page from the Q1 XRP market report for 2023. Let us pause for a moment to acknowledge that if you've been in this room for more than 5 minutes, you're already familiar with these reports, these quarterly reports. It's just market reporting on XRP, where Ripple mentions some figures that aren't public knowledge but are relevant to the company's dealings with the cryptocurrency. It's interesting to hear what they have to say about the current crypto and blockchain landscape. Whenever news of this sort emerges in this country, I make sure to cover it on my station. So, unless you're completely green, you already know that. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before proceeding. But then Attorney Hines states, and I'm guessing this was done to address the information gap between Ripple and normal holders, which is something the SEC is tasked with preventing. Ripple made extraordinary efforts to find a solution to the problem. The question of whether or not they were required to take this action is open to debate. However, the fact that they tried to find a workaround for the fact that they were smarter than average market participants is still relevant. I yelled it out as though I truly believed it. However, on this point, other blockchain businesses could learn from Ripple's example. Companies that have used blockchain to raise money need to start being more upfront about their processes. I anticipate that upcoming legislation will emphasize this area. To begin, we must resolve the issue of defining digital assets and showing how they evolve from a security mechanism into something else. Further regulations concerning public disclosure by businesses are also required. So, I'll quibble slightly with what he wrote there, because the asset is never the issue. Thus, I would not put it in those terms. I'm not an attorney, but I'm aware that he is. But transforming as though it were a resource whose very essence was the ability to undergo transformation. Even if that wasn't what he meant, I still think it's a good idea to attempt to tone down the language a bit. I have some constructive criticism there, but otherwise I really enjoy what you've done. And then he goes on to discuss something, a work in progress, that's included in here. I have no idea what you're talking about. To clarify, I am merely reading the thread. Says he. This is why I felt compelled to develop Seed Starting Medium. Permit me to take a quick drink. Excessive babbling. Hell no. He claims that this is why I felt compelled to develop Seed Starter. I aim to build a platform similar to blockchain, where ordinary people could contribute to businesses by providing financial backing. Nonetheless, where common citizens have regular access to data. In conclusion, I believe that the future belongs to more companies enhancing openness by issuing reports like Ripple has done quarterly. Yes, you make a valid point. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think most of us would prefer to see businesses move in that direction. Today's climate makes such an action less than ideal, so when lawyer John Deaton saw this thread, he retweeted it with the comment, and you know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished. According to the SEC, the evidence that XRP constituted an investment contract with Ripple may be found in the company's XRP market reports. At 3:90, we'll have a much more in-depth discussion of this. A live crypto legislation. And that means, well, a few things. The SEC's use of Ripple's unprecedented openness as a weapon is ridiculous. Simply put, that is revolting. And secondly, I managed to watch it unfold in real time. Since my afternoons and early evenings are usually somewhat hectic, I wasn't sure if I would be able to. Unfortunately, I missed that live broadcast. Very intriguing things have been mentioned, and I'm sure to discuss them tomorrow. So, John Deaton hired lawyer Jeremy Hogan and a handful of other lawyers, one of whom was an SEC lawyer. I like the mature tone of the conversation and the various counterpoints that resulted from it. It's hardly name-calling, but there were genuinely divergent points of view being expressed. It appears that everyone was sincere in their actions. So let's talk some more about that. But that's for another day. Right now, I need to finish things up. There's a lot happening right now. The difficulty is enormous. I have to tell you, it has been challenging to cover everything that has happened in the previous few days. As is often the case when managing a YouTube channel of this nature, there will always be topics that are left unexplored. Even if you have an additional bicentric channel, there just isn't enough time to cover everything. But I think I've done a decent job of extracting the core of the situation. However, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. On the contrary, I found this one to be quite intriguing. So, we'll likely spend some more time discussing that tomorrow. But for the time being, I'll end this. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.